Imagine waking up every day, feeling like life just isn't moving forward. No matter how much you try, you're stuck in the same routine, the same struggles. It feels like nothing changes. But what if I told you that real change doesn't start out there but within? A powerful Quranic verse that holds the key to transformation. Indeed, Allah will not change the condition of a people until they change what is in themselves. Quran 13:11. Hear the story.
Jamal sat on the edge of his bed staring at the cracked ceiling. His life had been stuck in the same loop for years. Every day was the same. Wake up, go to work, come back home exhausted, and repeat. He couldn't understand why nothing ever seemed to improve. It felt like the world was against him. Every plan fell apart. Every effort was wasted. "Why is this happening to me?" he mumbled to himself, his voice barely a whisper in the quiet room. One evening, after yet another day of frustration, Jamal went to visit his old friend Bilal, someone he hadn't seen in months. Bilal was someone who always seemed to have everything together. There was a calmness about him, a sense of direction that Jamal envied. Over tea, Jamal vented about his life. "I work so hard, Bilal, but nothing ever changes. It's like I'm stuck in the same place, no matter what I do." Bilal listened quietly, nodding occasionally. Then with a thoughtful look in his eyes, he asked, "Jamal, do you know the verse from the Quran? Indeed, Allah will not change the condition of a people until they change what is in themselves." Jamal looked at him, unsure where this was going. "I've heard it before, but what does that have to do with my situation?" Bilal smiled gently. "Think of your life like a garden," he said. "If you plant seeds and never tend to them, never water them, or care for the soil, can you expect flowers to grow?" Jamal frowned. "No, but I've been working hard. Isn't that enough?" Bilal shook his head. "You've been working, but what have you been working on? You're focused on the outside, the job, the struggles. But what about the inside? The soil of the garden, so to speak. You see, Jamal, just like a neglected garden won't bear fruit, a hardened mind left unexamined can't bring real change. The verse means you have to change how you think, how you approach life, before the world around you can change." Jamal stared at the floor, Bilal's words echoing in his mind. "So, I need to change myself first?" Bilal nodded. "Exactly. Start with what's inside, your mindset, your habits, your attitude. Instead of waiting for the world to change, start by making small changes within yourself. Maybe instead of focusing on what you don't have, think about what you do. Instead of blaming life for not giving you more, ask yourself what you can give back." Over the next few weeks, Jamal took Bilal's advice to heart. It wasn't easy. At first, his old habits of complaining and blaming others crept back in, but he caught himself. He began setting small goals, not just for his job, but for himself, waking up earlier, focusing on gratitude and being kinder to those around him. At work, instead of dreading the day, he looked for opportunities to learn, to grow, even in the smallest tasks. He stopped viewing setbacks as personal failures and began seeing them as chances to improve. Slowly, his outlook shifted. Months later, Jamal met Bilal again, but this time, it was different. Jamal's eyes were brighter, his posture more relaxed. "How are things now?" Bilal asked with a smile. Jamal grinned. "You know, my life hasn't changed that much on the outside. My job's the same, the challenges are still there, but I feel different, lighter, more in control. I stopped waiting for things to change around me and started working on myself. And now everything feels better." Bilal nodded, pleased. "That's the beauty of it. When you change what's within, the world seems to change around you, even if it hasn't. It's all in how you see it." Jamal left that day with a deeper understanding of the verse. It wasn't the world that needed to change for him to find peace. It was himself. Just like tending to a garden, it required patience and care. But eventually the seeds he planted within began to grow. And with them, life blossomed.